From a 6-ton training vehicle to a 188-ton steel monster, Germany has built an entire mechanical army. This is a catalog of every vehicle they rolled into World War II. Let's start with the light tanks that started it all. The Panzer I wasn't supposed to fight anyone. Germany designed it purely to teach crews how tanks worked. But when Poland was invaded in 1939, these tiny machines with just twin machine guns suddenly found themselves on the front lines. With armor barely thicker than a car door at 13 millimeters, they were death traps. Yet over 1,800 rolled off production lines. The Panzer II arrived as Germany's design to address the limitations of the Panzer I's. Armed with a 20 millimeter cannon, it could actually damage enemy armor. During the French invasion, most Panzer IIs were equipped with radios, giving them a communication advantage over many French tanks, which often lacked such equipment. This communication advantage let lighter German tanks outmaneuver and overwhelm superior numbers. More than 1,200 existed before war even began. When Germany absorbed Czechoslovakia in March 1939, they inherited an unexpected gift: the Czech LT-35 and LT-38 tanks, renamed Panzer. 35T and 38T, these foreign designs were actually better built than Germany's own light tanks. The 38T proved so mechanically sound that Germany kept producing it throughout the war, eventually using its chassis as the base for some of their deadliest tank destroyers. Moving on to Germany's medium tanks that changed modern warfare, the Panzer III introduced something revolutionary: a 3-person turret crew. Before this, tank commanders had to either load shells or fire guns themselves while trying to command their vehicle. The Panzer III freed the commander to actually think tactically. Early models mounted a 37 millimeter gun, but this quickly became inadequate as enemy armor thickened. Later versions received a longer 50 millimeter gun, with final variants even mounting a 75 millimeter howitzer, specifically for infantry support. But the Panzer IV became Germany's true workhorse. Initially designed just to support other tanks with a short-barreled 75 millimeter howitzer, it underwent a dramatic transformation. When Soviet T-34s started destroying German armor with ease, engineers frantically upgraded the Panzer IV with a high-velocity long gun. This single modification turned a support vehicle into a legitimate tank killer. Germany produced over 8,500 of them, more than any other tank model they made. Then came the Panther. After encountering Soviet T-34s, German engineers basically admitted their enemy had the better design. The Panther borrowed the T-34's sloped armor concept, but added a devastating 75 millimeter gun that could penetrate more armor than even the famous Tiger tank. Weighing 45 tons yet still mobile, many historians call it the finest medium tank design of the entire war, though its early reliability problems caused massive headaches. If you're still with us after seeing how these early tanks shaped the battlefield, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from World War II. Now to the heavy hitters that became legends. The Tiger I didn't just dominate battlefields, it dominated minds. When this 54-ton beast appeared in 1942 with its 88 millimeter gun and 100 millimeters of frontal armor, Allied tankers faced a terrifying reality. Their shells simply bounced off. To kill a Tiger, Shermans and T-34s had to get danger close, often sacrificing several tanks just to disable one. The psychological impact was immense. Allied crews reported Tigers that didn't exist. Only 1,347 were ever built, yet they seemed everywhere. Germany wanted to improve on perfection with the Tiger II, weighing nearly 70 tons and mounting an even longer 88 millimeter gun. It could destroy any Allied tank from over 2 kilometers away. Its thick, sloped armor made it nearly impervious to frontal attack. But here's the problem. It was too heavy for its own engine. Constant mechanical breakdowns meant more Tiger IIs were abandoned due to engine failure than enemy fire. The mouse represents late-war German engineering madness perfectly. At 188 tons, it's the heaviest tank ever built. It mounted both a 128mm main gun and a 75mm secondary gun. Only 2 prototypes were completed before Germany's collapse. It couldn't cross most bridges. It guzzled fuel impossibly fast. It was essentially a mobile fortress that couldn't actually move anywhere useful. Next, the tank destroyers that became Germany's secret weapon. Here's a clever German innovation. Remove the turret, mount a bigger gun, save production costs. The concept worked brilliantly. The Panzerjäger I started this trend awkwardly, mounting a Czech 47mm gun on an obsolete Panzer I chassis. It was crude and top-heavy, but it proved the concept worked. The Marder series improved everything. As Panzer II and 38T tanks became obsolete, Germany mounted powerful 75mm anti-tank guns on their chassis. These Marders gave Germany affordable mobile firepower exactly when they needed it most. Thousands served on the Eastern Front. The Hetzer became an Allied tanker's nightmare. Small, low profile, with highly sloped armor, it could hide almost anywhere. Its 75mm gun could penetrate most Allied armor, yet enemies struggled to spot it before being hit. Cheap to produce, over 2,800 rolled out. But the Stug III became Germany's unsung hero. Starting as an infantry support vehicle with a short gun, it evolved into a dedicated tank destroyer with a long 75mm cannon. Stugs became Germany's most widely produced armored fighting vehicles and proved highly effective on the battlefield, sometimes achieving kill counts comparable to heavier Tigers and Panthers. Over 10,000 Stu G3s were built, making them the most widely produced German armored fighting vehicles. They were reliable, effective, and everywhere. The Nashorn mounted Germany's deadly long 88mm gun on a tall, thin armored chassis with an open top. The strategy? Engage from extreme distances where enemy fire couldn't reach back. It worked when positioned correctly, but required skilled crews to survive. The Jagd Panther combined everything right. Panther chassis, speed and armor, plus the long 88mm gun in a low-profile hull. Military historians often call it the best tank destroyer design of the war. Only 415 existed, but each was devastatingly effective. The Jag Tiger took the concept too far. At 71 tons with a 128mm gun, it could theoretically destroy any tank through buildings. But it broke down constantly, guzzled fuel impossibly fast, and only 79 were completed. It was Germany over-engineering a problem they no longer had resources to solve. Moving to self-propelled artillery that moved with the advance, the Wespe mounted a 105mm howitzer on a Panzer II chassis. Light and mobile, it provided quick fire support for advancing panzer divisions. The Hummel represented Germany's commitment to mobile artillery. Mounting a heavy 150mm howitzer on a custom chassis, combining Panzer III and IV components, it delivered devastating bombardments while keeping pace with armored advances. Over 700 were built alongside ammunition. Carriers. The Sturmtiger stands alone. Built on Tiger tank chassis, it fired 380mm rocket-propelled shells designed to obliterate entire buildings. Germany created it specifically for urban warfare during the Warsaw Uprising. Only 18 existed, making it exceptionally rare. Let's look at the Flak Panzer's anti-aircraft vehicles that protected the columns the Wirbelwind earned its name. It is a Panzer IV chassis with an open-top housing 420mm cannons. It creates a literal whirlwind of lead against low-flying aircraft. It also proved devastatingly effective against ground infantry and light vehicles. The Ostwind followed with a single, more powerful 37mm gun for better range and altitude engagement. Next up, the Halftracks that became Germany's signature, the Kettenkrad, looked bizarre. A motorcycle front welded to a tracked rear section. But this strange hybrid could go anywhere. Paratroopers used them, Eastern Front units relied on them in deep mud, and they could tow light artillery or lay communication cables. Over 8,000 were produced. The SDKF-7 became the prime mover for Germany's famous 88mm flak guns. Reliable and produced in huge numbers at over 12,000, you'll see them in almost every photo of 88mm guns being repositioned. The SDKF's 9 FAMO represented the top end, 18 tons, capable of towing 25 tons. When Tigers or Panthers broke down miles from repair facilities, only the FAMO could drag them back, absolutely essential for German armored operations. The SDKF Z-251 Hanomag became iconic. This is the half-track you picture when you think of German mechanized infantry. It carried Panzer Grenadiers into battle while protecting them from small arms fire. Over 15,000 were built in more than 20 variants, mounting everything from flamethrowers to rocket launchers to anti-tank guns. Moving to armored cars provided for the eyes, the SDKF's 222 served as Germany's standard light scout car. 4 wheels, a 20mm autocannon, and enough armor to survive small arms fire. Fast, cheap, reliable. Over 900 served. The SDKF Z-234 Puma elevated the concept. 8 wheels, 50mm gun, 85 km/h top speed. But here's the brilliant part. It had a second driver's position facing backward. Hit resistance? The rear driver takes control and you retreat at full speed without even turning around. Pure German engineering creativity. Support vehicles kept the war machine running. Ferdinand Porsche designed the Kubelwagen as Germany's Jeep equivalent. Simple, lightweight, rear-wheel drive. It couldn't match the Jeep's four-wheel drive, but 4 soldiers could physically lift it out of mud when stuck. Over 50,000 were produced, making them ubiquitous across all theaters. The Schwimmwagen took that concept amphibious. It is capable of crossing rivers using a small rear-mounted propeller. Around 14,000 Schwimmwagens were built, making it one of the most widely produced amphibious vehicles of World War II. The Goliath represented German innovation pushed too far. This remote-controlled tracked mine could deliver 60 kilograms of explosives directly to targets via wire control. Clever concept, but they proved too expensive, too vulnerable to small arms fire, and too slow to be practical. The Berge Panther saved disabled tanks. Built on Panther chassis, it mounted powerful winches capable of pulling 40 tons. These recovery vehicles were essential for German armored operations, bringing valuable tanks back from the battlefield for repair. Finally, the projects that never mattered. The E-100 represented Germany's attempt to standardize production, but only the hull was completed before war's end. The Landkreuzer P-1000 Rada existed only on paper, a proposed 1,000-ton land battleship with naval guns. It represents how disconnected late-war German planning became from battlefield reality. From the inadequate Panzer I to the impossible Rata, from the reliable Stug III to the troubled Tiger II, Germany's vehicle development tells the story of a nation that started with clever tactics, achieved temporary dominance through engineering, then collapsed under impossible ambitions and dwindling resources. Which one of these incredible German vehicles is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below.